So you were telling us how GOP women really made progress in Congress this time around. So where are still the challenges ahead for female representation in politics?
Well, right. And the Republicans really did, Republican women make a lot of headway, 13, 14 plus new women that are going to be coming to Congress. There's still, the presidential race is not the only undecided race here in the States. We've got some congressional races that are undecided, so it could be even bigger number. But there's still some challenges. Look, even with this record number of women going to be in Congress, there still is going to be under 30% of women represented in Congress, and that's nowhere near the sort of equity of component that we'd really like to see. So there's definitely work to be done. The Republicans have been lagging behind Democratic women on their numbers. This election has gone a long way to at least bring them up a little bit in their numbers, but it's something that they're going to have to build on for sure.
Betsy, I want to get your views on how votes were cast along gender lines in this election, right? Was it more to do with city, suburban, rural demographics than it was to do with gender? Why did we see that split when it comes to essentially, if you're a woman, where you lived?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a component. I think that's the primary component of this election, depending on, whether you're someone who lives in urban areas, you're more apt to vote for Biden in that case, the rural areas, more apt to vote for Trump, of course. And then we kind of come down to the middle, literally the suburban areas in the country. And that's where you saw women, especially, being pulled back over to the Biden camp. And the messages sent out from his campaign, we're definitely more appealing, especially when we worry about issues like the coronavirus, people taking care of their families. That support really shifted more over into the Biden camp. And so we saw some of those suburban women who may have been Trump voters in 2016 now casting their votes for Joe Biden.
What about the turnout and the result when it comes to black voters? Was there anything interesting to you? Because we knew that was going to be crucial to Biden's election campaign.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that has been a critical component for Joe Biden going back to the primaries, because if you all remember, the first couple of early primary states, Joe Biden was not doing well at all. His campaign was on life support until coming to the state of South Carolina, where black voters really put him over the top and helped him propel his way to the nomination. And so, yeah, in this case as well, there was a lot of outreach done to black voters. Black women especially got really involved in this campaign. Certainly having Kamala Harris on the ticket energized black women voters who were such a key component of the Democratic Party. And we have seen all along that black women voters are now more apt to be participating in politics, engaging, campaigning, talking with their friends, volunteering on campaigns. And it was definitely a strength area for Vice President Biden.
And just quickly, there was a big youth turnout as well.
Yes. I mean, youth really, we sort of every cycle we talk about, younger people turning out, but it seems like this cycle, and some of the exit polls are still kind of getting crunched and formulated, and so we don't have exact numbers yet, but similarly to the black women that I was talking about, younger voters were very energized this cycle, not only voting, but protesting, participating in politics. I have a college-age daughter who, for the first time, really showed a lot of interest in politics and, wanting to vote. And so It was just an energy around young people that I've seen, certainly even my students as well at American University.